Welcome. Hello to this little mini video training all about being lazy. Are you lazy? Are you procrastinating? Or is it maybe something different? Which is funny that that's the topic for today. I'm using StreamYard to go live, and there's ways you can add pretty backgrounds to that. And I procrastinated a little bit to the moment before going live that the one I had uploaded wasn't working. so, but I really do love this topic. And how much have you ever judged yourself for not getting enough done or just not doing enough? Or maybe you have a lot of self judgment that you're not being enough and you could have a different life if you just did X, Y, and Z, or you should have this, but you don't. And then you go into judgment. What if you're actually not wrong? So, first question I'd love to present for you to ask is when you do start to go into judgment of yourself for being lazy or not doing enough, or you think you're procrastinating, is hey, what's right about me I'm not getting? It's a brilliant question. Or what's right about this I'm not getting? Like if there's a project or something that isn't moving or stuck, or you just have that sense of, I can't get anything done, ask what's right about this I'm not getting, or what's right about me I'm not getting. Because what I have noticed, and sorry, I have two little playful dogs in the background if you hear them. I might have to push them outside. If what I've noticed 99% of the time, and honestly, it's that high, it's 99% of the time, I think I'm procrastinating on something. And like, I'm like, oh, I can't seem to work on that. So take whatever it is in your life, whatever your job is, whether it's your job is being a parent, or your job is working in a factory, or your job is writing emails, or your job is an entrepreneur, whatever it is, whatever you have to do that day. I don't know if you can see here in the background. Let me know if the dogs are too loud and we'll move them. But what I've noticed is I look at that and I'm like, oh, I just don't have the energy to do it. So look at something where it just hasn't seemed to be easy. It hasn't come together. You can't seem to get it going. And then you want to ask truth. Am I procrastinating? And when you ask truth before a question, it's like a universal law of you're going to be aware if you're telling yourself the truth or if you're lying to yourself. We very, very, very often lie to ourselves about what is actually going on. So you might have the judgment you're procrastinating or putting something off, but what is actually true? So ask truth. Am I procrastinating here? And then see if you get lighter or heavier. And then ask, or do I just require other information? 99% of the time, and I'm not kidding you, there is other information required to either the project has changed, something changes with the date, something shows up to make it easier, someone else is going to show up to contribute. The thing would like to be something different and it changes. And had I started and tried to push through the judgment of, I just need to get this done, I'm being lazy, had I done that, either often I would have to completely redo what I was working on, or whatever I had created would have become irrelevant, or whatever I had chosen and done wouldn't be nearly as great as what it is now with the information that I receive in the moment. So, one of the things about that is you are not wrong. And we so quickly go to judge ourselves about the situation, like, it must be me. What if it's not you? One other brilliant question you can ask when you kind of feel stuck or you wake up feeling, you're procrastinating, ask, what am I perceiving? This is a very freeing question because it's really different than asking, or deciding, oh my God, I feel so tired, or, I'm such a procrastinator, or, I'm so lazy. All of those are conclusions or ways that you feel. You are actually dynamically aware of everything and everyone and all the thoughts and the feelings and emotions of everyone around you. So you can ask either, what am I aware of here that I'm not acknowledging? And sometimes maybe It's you're aware of everyone else's energy. Like how much do you wake up on a Monday morning? Like I went to wake my daughter up for school today and she was like, no, I don't want to go to school today. I was like, Monday morning energy. What am I aware of that I'm not acknowledging? When you ask that question, you may not become cognitively aware of what it is. Oh, it's my neighbor who hates waking up, or it's my mom that is worried about something or putting something off. You might not get the cognitive awareness. That's not what questions are for. They're actually to ask a question, open up a universe, and open up energetic awareness and information. Because you are an energetic creature and a being, when you ask that, like, oh, what am I aware of? Or what am I perceiving here? One, you don't buy it as yours. You don't make it real. You don't make it personal, which means you don't go and solidify to contract around whoever or whatever reality that is. And then you're asking for the energetic awareness of what is that? What are you perceiving or aware of? You might not get that download in the moment, but what you have done by asking that question is you have changed the energy of whatever is going on, whatever you're looking at, whatever you think you're not doing or being. You've changed the energy by asking a question. What's right about me I'm not getting? What's right about this I'm not getting? What am I actually aware of? What am I perceiving? Truth, am I procrastinating, or do I just require other information? And then ask the universe, okay, what else is required here? What other information do I require? And then let it go. When you have changed the energy by asking a question, you change the energy, then that starts shifting whatever that situation is, and that situation changes as if by magic, but it's not magic. It's you change the energy. So of course the situation is going to change. Now the time frame of that changes all the time. So I'm not sure when that will change, but you have changed it. That's actually how you create. So also, I mean, are there actions to take? Yes. So one of my other favorite questions is, like I woke up today, I have a list, like this is just my business to create list. And then I have a personal list, which is as long on another notebook. And it's like Monday, first Monday where the kids are back in school. I have a new puppy, 2 dogs playing. There's a lot going on. And one of my favorite questions I could sit here and make myself wrong for, I can't believe I haven't done anything. What can I accomplish today? And what requires my attention today? When you ask that, you might have a bazillion things going on. You ask that, don't try to figure it out mentally, let it go. And then it's like, oh, the person will text that, oh yeah, that's what's required of me today. That requires my attention. I need to address the teacher calling about this, or, oh, wow, it was like my car I needed to take into the shop. Ask what requires my attention today, and what can I accomplish? Because I don't ever look at a list as a to-do list. They're my to create lists, and they're ever ongoing. I never get everything crossed off, nor do I expect myself to, nor do I judge myself if I don't. It's like, oh, add to it. And then, oh, cool, that one's done, or that project changed, no longer needs to be worked on in that way. That could be the procrastination piece. But those questions are huge. And will you acknowledge that actually asking a question is what changes it? Some people are like, yeah, but give me something else. Like, that's just a question to ask. Yeah, that is the magic. If you take a few moments of real energetic presence when you ask a question and then just let it go, because you don't have to figure out the answer. You don't have to come to conclusion about how that will show up. You don't have to define it. There's no result. You just go, what can I accomplish today? What requires my attention? That's energetic presence. You just are it. Let it go. That truly is what changes your reality. You no longer function from must do this, must get this done. I'm wrong if I don't do it. I have to or all those rules about how you're supposed to accomplish your goals. What is actually true for you? So you might want to acknowledge or ask, what is true for me when it comes to creation and creating my life? Because everything is creating your life. Taking your dogs to the vet. My dad taking my dogs to the vet this morning. It's creating my life. They added wonderful energy, which is another thing that I wanted to bring up on this topic is so often when we're procrastinating or we're like, I can't get anything done, we go into overwhelm, like, too much. So I just don't want to do anything. I just want to sit in the bed and watch Netflix. And there are spaces for that. I love a good evening or a day like that if it's required to like ask, what actually do I require today? But sometimes when we think we're overwhelmed, again, you might want to ask, who or what am I aware of? Or what am I perceiving? Because what if that's not yours? What I have found in Access Consciousness, if you don't know me, I'm an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. And there are literally, oh my God, I mean, thousands of tools, questions, processes to basically look at different situations and change your perspective, change the energy. So all of a sudden your life starts actualizing and showing up in a different way. And one of the questions that we have is to ask, what else could I add to my life? And trust me, I know when you're in overwhelm, you're thinking, what in the world? Like, why would I ask that question? I first discovered these tools when my two little girls were little in diapers, like 6 months and maybe a little over 2 years old. And life was a little hectic. I was trying to start my business as an Access bars facilitator, offering sessions. I was teaching yoga a little bit. And I was like, why would I want to ask, what can I add to my life? Here's the secret. For most of you, there are two different sorts of people that exist on the world. One of which we like to refer to as humanoids, meaning like the creative dreamers, seekers, maybe feel like they can't commit to anything. Then something else is possible. Often judge ourselves a lot, like this idea of you're judging yourself for not doing or being enough. And it's just a way to acknowledge, how do you function? And for a lot of people like that, it's actually adding things that allow you to create more and more easily. So how many of you have ever had like one thing, like you look at this day and you're like, oh my gosh, my schedule is free, but I have to do this one thing. How hard is it sometimes to just get that one thing done? Whereas how many of you had a day where it's one of those days where you've got like meetings going on, you've got other stuff to do, you've got, literally it's like do all day long. With how much ease do you accomplish those like 20 things that are on your plate? Whereas sometimes you got this one thing going on and you end up not doing or destroying whatever that is. Often look at your life too. It doesn't have to be that you add a project or a business or a job. Like, what else could you add to your life? Could be like, oh, I really love the energy of a plant. So like, I'd love that, to bring that energy into wherever you are. Maybe you add a plant. Maybe you add a puppy is a little more additional stuff going on, but it does not have to be like that. It could literally be, I'm going to add 5 minutes to my day where I don't look at my phone and I really presently ask some questions. But the more you have going on, it more acknowledges, are you able to hold multiple things in your awareness at once and know which requires you? Some people call that ADD. Right now I'm looking at my computer. I have about 30 tabs open, which is usual, but I'm actually working in all of them. If I have one thing I have to do, like, oh, this is the only email I need to write today. Boy, do I not want to do that. And do I procrastinate? The more I have going on, it's like, how much does that expand your awareness, the aerial view, so that you can go, okay, what does require my attention, and allow it to energetically speak with you? So much easier. Yeah. And you guys are saying, yeah, it's so hard. It's so funny. I'm the same way. If I have one thing to do, I can't even get that thing done. If I have a bazillion, I'm like, oh, cool. It's like that high speed of creation. So truth, do you actually create and function from the speed of space? And everywhere you haven't acknowledged that, would you destroy and uncreate it? Times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. If you don't know that, that's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, which is another one of these like magical tools that changes the energy so something else can actualize. It just removes all of those stuck places, or like in that example, where you haven't acknowledged what's actually true for you. I mean, look at a day where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm judging myself. I can't get anything done. I feel so lazy. I feel so wrong. Nothing's moving forward. And I've had quite a few of those lately, strangely. Not strangely. I mean, what are we aware of that's in the air? So when you do that, does that like lighten your world and start to open up new spaces? Or do you just kind of go down deeper into a more contracted, deep hole? Here's the thing. that contraction and heaviness is your greatest signal. That is not actually yours or true for you. What's light is true for you. What's heavy is not. So when you start to go down that hole of judgment and making yourself wrong, stop, ask a question. So what am I perceiving here? What am I, all these ones we've talked about in this video, what one would contribute? But ask a question, because it'll start to change the energy. And when you acknowledge something like, do I function at the speed of space, truth? If that makes you lighter, that's a yes. It doesn't make sense if your mind goes, of course you don't. You haven't done anything this week. You don't create at the speed of space. The question is to acknowledge the energy of what is true for you. If that makes your world lighter, what if that's actually true? And the heaviness and the slowness and the feeling like you can't get something done, not only is it not true for you, it's not yours. And you don't have to start living that lie of how everyone else makes that very real. No, you've got to pare down, simplify your life so you can get stuff done. Has that ever worked for you? If it has, awesome. For me, the more I do that, the more I just stress out about stuff and can't seem to move anything forward. The more I add people, energies, spaces, like time for me, like time with friends, whatever that is, things that are so different and unique for you. Does my schedule or calendar look fuller? Yeah. Do I love living my life more? Yes. So what actually works for you? We're all different. But part of this is really asking that question of, you can see the dogs run out. What is actually true for me? And get curious about that. Like, what if that discovery, just on the beginning of that discovery? So, hey, little guys, let me introduce you to Nugget. They're playing. This is Nugget. He's the newest member of our family. You might have met Ace in other videos. Nugget and Ace like to play because they're both boys and enjoying being brotherly. So, yeah, I feel like I may have adult ADD. Yeah, that's a capacity. We have a class in Access Consciousness called X-Men. And you can find more about that on the Access website. I think you probably go to accessconsciousness.com/X-Men. I'm going to become a facilitator of it soon. I just took some phenomenal classes with Diva Diaz, is an amazing X-Men facilitator. Heather Nichols, I took a class with. Cara Wright has one coming up. There's lots of other facilitators. But what it does is it takes these things that are labels and looked at as disabilities, ADD, ADHD, autism, OCD, schizophrenia, multiple personality, all these labels, and looks at what's actually the capacity there, what's actually going on. Again, what are you perceiving? What are you aware of? If that intrigues you, check it out. Also, I think last week or just a few days ago, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, did a video, a Facebook Live with Sewell, Sewell Jones, who also facilitates X-Men. Brilliant. So maybe we can put that in the comments too if you haven't seen that and if that piques your interest. But what if that's actually a gift? I don't know about you, but I on a pretty normal day reheat my coffee 4 to 5 times because I can't finish the cup without starting 5 different things and leaving it in different rooms and then forgetting I have it, but then wanting it again. Sometimes I just drink it cold, but usually, especially if it's cooler out, I just want a warm beverage 4 to 5 times for 1 cup. What if that's not wrong? And what if the moment you place your energy on something and just even have it in your awareness, we would say think about it, but what if it's not actually thinking? It's more like, oh, what's that? What's going on with so-and-so today? Oh, I wonder how that project is doing. Oh, what's that business like? What if that moment of also energetic ping and awareness is contributing to bringing that to fruition and moving it? I know that doesn't make sense linearly. You're not linear, you're energetic. And the more we can ask these questions, the more that acknowledges, again, something that's true for you. Creating from question is the way to extrapolate and continue to change things and add more possibilities. When we come to conclusion, it's a way to slow things down and make things not as great as they could be, and also not as fun as they could be. So I'm glad other people have this thing with reheating their coffee, and so true. So I hope this contributes to you and this topic, because it is a huge one for me. And I'm not saying I don't have days where I'm like, oh my God, I can't do anything. But what's so interesting is, or weeks. I mean, like I said, I've had this energy a lot recently, and some days where finally, here's how you are kind to you. When you have that, don't try to slog through something that you think you have to get done. Ask, what would my body like to do today? What movement could I choose? Would I like to sit on my couch or take a bath? Or what would actually be fun? You might find that once you get out of judgment and choose that, a totally different possibility shows up. Ow, one of them just hit the door. Hey, little guys. Ouch. Come here, Ace. Sorry for the doggy interruption. I was thinking, and give me feedback. I was thinking of been creating my own YouTube channel for these guys. Or I could just add a playlist with them here. But in those moments, here's how you're kind to you. When you have that energy of not being able to get something done, ask the questions that we talked about, and then choose something else. Like, enjoy the day. Don't make yourself wrong the whole day for not doing. Actually enjoy it. And what I've found, again, probably 100% of time on this one, is I then in hindsight go, oh my gosh, that's what I was aware of. Like, I had to really, like, whether my body was resting for something really big that was coming up, or again, it was information that it was missing or required to move that forward. It would have been a waste of my time anyway. Always, that's what I end up discovering. So enjoy that day, enjoy that week, enjoy that space where you're like, nothing is moving. Because again, what are you actually aware of? Cool. Oh, thank you for putting the link. So the link to the interview with Gary and Sewell is in the comments. And yeah, there may be an Instagram or YouTube for these guys coming soon. We will we will see. And yeah, if you haven't taken notes, write some of those question downs. I'm a sticky note person, as you guys know. So I put them on my mirror to ask them, but do whatever's fun for you. Because only you know what actually works for you to create your life. So enjoy. Last minute invite too. I don't know when you're watching this video, but if you're watching live, this will apply. Coming up this weekend, August 26th to 28th, I have an energy shopping class that's at my house in Chattanooga, and there's a space for a couple more people. I also have a business done different class coming up in September, which talk about these tools, business creation, money. That class, it has an incredible manual. I have that coming up online in September. I have a relationships done different class coming up in November, which is online or at the castle in Italy. So whatever would contribute to, but check it out. I hope this live does, and these questions, and you can find kind of any other stuff going on or what I have coming up at my website. And thank you all. And thank you for being patient with the doggy noise and interruptions. And I will see you on the next live or somewhere online or in person soon. Bye-bye.